Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Silpot and welcome to this session. I'll be providing a guide to taking CSEC music for 2025. If you're new to CSEC, this might be helpful in getting some information along with your syllabus. Always consult with your syllabus, which can be found online through the CXC website or through the guidance of your teacher. So these are just some helpful highlights, not in-depth study that I will be sharing with you in terms of taking. I will provide some other content as well. There's some on the channel. Feel free to go to the YouTube channel where you can access some tips as well that I've put there in terms of taking CXC music and all of that. So without further ado, let me see if I can share. We'll go from there. So CXC music 2025, and I've put some affirmations for you. Don't be distraught, don't be anxious. Take your time and go through the content. Try to meet the deadlines that your teachers assigned, also observing the timelines in which each paper, the requirement, the assessments are due. So these are there for you to share. Sometimes music is the only medicine the heart and soul need. Music is life, that's why your heart has beats. Music is what feelings sound like. Fast practice equals slow progress. Slow practice equals fast progress. So take your time and go through. No practice, no progress. I think that one is self-explanatory. All right, so the first thing I would share is you have to get to know your syllabus. The first thing in any education attainment is knowing what the content will be. So knowing what is required of you in each class, knowing your syllabus will help you to meet the requirements set within the parameters of music in CXC. And that will keep you in view of your accomplishments. So again, the syllabus is online. There's a link there. You can also go to cxe.org. You can access the music syllabus and see for yourself what is required of you. First point, areas of concentration within CXC music. Now there are 3 papers. So there's a paper 1, which is a listening and appraising, and CXC acronyms is LIAP, that comprises 60 multiple choice questions based on music history, music literacy, and music perception. Then we have our paper 2, which is your performance concentrated, and usually it's PERF. Submission of composing profiles are required for that paper, along with your presentation of solo pieces, scales, and arpeggios or technical studies. And your paper 3, which is a composing aspect, which is usually dubbed as SBA, school-based assessment, which is you'll have performances, both solo and group, as well as a project that you have to concentrate on. And usually the assessments of these papers are in reverse order. So you'll be assessed for paper 3 first, then you'll be assessed for paper 2, and then the last paper will be paper 1. So usually the timelines are March, April for paper 3, paper 2 around May, June, and then paper 1 at the end of it. How well do you need to know your content to present to a panel of external examiners? Here's a tip. Be familiar with your syllabus. You have to prepare yourself and present your content with confidence and precision. So be used to the idea that you'll be visited by external people you've never seen before, perhaps. So get used to be in confidence for your performances. Know what you need to do, know about your pieces so you can express as well. So be mindful of that. Don't second guess. If you have studied, you should be sure of your content. And of course, you have your guide from your music teacher. So remember, all the external examiners will be asking questions based on what you have presented. So highlight important aspects of your musical journey. Talk about the music. Talk about what the terms are. Talk about what processes you have gone through musically to make it. All right. The workload of CXC music requires 5 years of experience and preparation, but you are doing it too. So if you've never done music before, you're cramming almost 5 years of work in 2 years. So CXC music has been designed based on you to be doing grade music from grade 7. So all of that information is being accumulated in grade 11 or fifth form, or the group it is, and you are supposed to function based on that. Don't wait until the end of the month to show up for the class, or don't wait until the end of the term to show up for the class. Be in constant communication with your teacher. Always be in communication. What is happening? How are you doing with your processes? How are you doing with your work? All right. Second point, the process of CXE. So in everything that you do, you're being guided by the level that you entered as and your grading rubric. So if you know you should know the level that you are performing at. Say if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced candidate, you should be working along the confines of those, and I'll express more on that later on. The grading rubric is your friend. Note what is being graded, the points, weighting, so you can produce the work aligned to that. So if you notice on this paper, we have all 3 papers set out, and you see exactly how each paper is graded. So the performance, the weighting is 34. So there's 34% of your grade is performance, 40% of your grade is your listening and appraisal, and then our SBA is 26%. Now note, you have to have all 3 papers to pass. So do all the components required of all 3 papers. So the weight of your paper 1 is 40%, weight of your paper 2 is 34%, and the weight of your paper 3 is 26%, which is totaling to the 100% that you can get. Collaborate with others. Don't be afraid to work with your classmates, work with others who may have experience in music, and outside, present your work, what you're doing, get some feedback on what you're doing using the rubric, of course, as the guide. You can advance your work that way. Convey meaning of pieces through style, and you should know your pieces. Don't just have them in a folder. Know about them. Even if you have not performed them to the entirety of it, you don't know until you know about the piece. You know what it's talking about. You know what the composer is trying to convey, and you know what is required to present it as original style. The next thing is that you should know what documents you have to have available for submission and for viewing by your external examiners. So each paper has a specific set of documents to be presented. So you should ensure you have all of these with the necessary information included. I would recommend that you have a checklist of all these things, and you take them off as you go for each paper. No paper is independent of the other in music, as I highlighted before. You have to satisfy all the requirements. Now, this chart and these things should be your friend in CXE music, because everything that you do are based on the elements of music. How this is laid out is pretty clever. I like using this because I see how the elements, this one's 5, a lot of persons, some content has 7, some has 8, some have 8. So we talk about harmony. We're talking about harmony. We're looking at chords, we're looking at ostinatos, we're looking at drones. If we're talking about melody, then we're talking about high and low pitches, up, moving the melody up or down, or the melody stays the same. Looking at skips and steps, and we're looking at the tonality, so either major or minor. And when we look at rhythm, you're looking, of course, at the durations, long or short. You're looking at beat, you're looking at beat groupings, and then form. You're looking at structure, form and structure of your piece. You're looking at the sections, phrases. You have AB, which is binary, or ABA, which is ternary. Or you may have rondo, and so on and so forth. Rondo, what is it? The last one here is call and response, which is another form type. And if we're looking at expressive qualities, then we're talking about dynamics, which is soft or loud, or we're talking about tempo, fast or slow, or we're talking about timbre, which speaks to sound quality. All right, so this is a helpful chart that can guide you. Use the terms wisely, use them, and know exactly what they refer to in terms of the elements of music. So the next point is that you have to be ready. Know the timelines for your papers. Work according to your timelines. There are 2 major ones that are there, and one is the moderation of the SBA, which you are seeing an external person. You'll have a special guest at your institution looking at your work. And the next one is a practical exam, which you'll have a panel of 2 persons. Sometimes perhaps there's 1, but sometimes there's 2. There are 2 persons. So be mindful of those and be ready at all times. It's no surprise that music has content just like any other subject and can be a great career choice. CXE has outlined 19 career choices possible in their syllabus, and there are many others. Because I put in this slide because a lot of persons would say there's no merit in doing music. They're quite wrong, and it's quite the opposite. There are many career choices that are viable in music or music education. I've been an education officer for over 15 years, a lecturer for over 12, and I've been a musician all my life, which has been worth it. So their career choice, there also been teachers, if you want to be a DJ, disc jockey, if you want to create music for children's music, if you want to compose or arrange, if you want to be a vocal coach, many others, a conductor. So you can be successful in music. Don't let anybody tell you different. You can go for music as an education or a career choice. Education and career choice. So be not dismayed. If you pursue music, there's merit in it. Each year, a great percentage of candidates who enter CXE music, they can use talent to pass. So they say, because I can sing or I can play, that should be easy. And they don't take into consideration there's actually content involved in music, because what music is, it's theory in practice. So there is theory to what we do to make things work in music. So it's applied to our practical experiences, just like any other art form. So talent plus good work equals excellence and success combined. Here's a tip for you. The compositions are marked in another country than Jamaica. Or if you're in any other territory, everybody knows that everything goes to Barbados. So make your work at a high standard that is difficult not to give you an A. Make your work a high standard so it's difficult for you not to get an A on your submissions. So do everything. Be meticulous in your presentation of content and how you present your work. Let it be of excellence. And then lastly, build confidence around your performance and music ideas by constantly reminding yourself of the following: your timelines, what is to be accomplished, and what is left to be tackled. Give yourself a good enough pace that you don't have everything crashing down at you on the last minute. And then, how can your audience get involved? And, from your presentation,